Katrina, thank you very much.
David, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Presenting my final TFNation 2017 pickup, Transformers Masterpiece MP-33 Inferno, and my first 2018 purchase, the retool, MP-35 Grapple. It's unlikely I'll get the other remold MP-37 Artfire, nice as it looks. Both alt modes are based on the Mitsubishi Fuso T951, Inferno being the fire ladder truck, Grapple being the crane. And cool as they are, for me, this is one of the weaker Masterpiece-based vehicles by default. They're great representations of their designs from the show, and to a lesser extent the Generation 1 toy line. But therein lies an issue. See how in both sources their arms are just there on the sides of the truck? Well, they replicated that here too. Granted, they flow in a bit better this time around, unlike their old toys where the arms bulge out slightly. But from other angles they're still obvious limbs, especially since the hands are not removable this time, and they're just barely covered. You can switch one of their fists for a nub, but that's the best you're gonna get. I hate to admit it, but third-party figures, like Backdraft and Girder, hide the arms better. These seem to lean more towards the cartoon models, what with how plain their decos are, and how they're slightly longer proportion-wise. However, there's still plenty of molded details, with the various panel lines, Inferno's solid plastic hoses, the clear roof/headlights, and the siren horns, though they're unpainted. Inferno and Grapple come with alternate grills/chest pieces. What you've seen up till now are the G1 toy-based chrome grills with the windscreen wipers, translucent headlights, and one of two Autobot sigils. Inferno has extra chrome on his front bumper. Then there are the show-based simplified white grills, no wipers, no clear headlights, and both bear the hand-drawn version of the logo. Even if these fit both figures better given what the designers were going for, I prefer the chrome grills, they're more detailed and shiny. As for other gimmicks, accessories and whatnot, first you have the white, fully functional stabilizers, unlike the old toys where they're chrome and fixed. Both Inferno's ladder and Grapple's crane arm extend, retract, and tilt, as one would hope. Inferno's hose nozzle can be positioned above or through the tip of the ladder. His water spray piece plugs into said nozzle. I like how it's cloudy at its root, where the pressure would be at its highest, then gradually fades to clear. Grapple, meanwhile, has alternate attachments for his crane arm. Aside from the hook, you have the scoop and claw, both seen in the episode Auto Berserk. All three pieces have the appropriate articulation. Finally, while it's not required, their blasters store in roughly the center of each vehicle, or more absurdly, on the roof. While both lack a lot of their G1 Toys decals, Inferno comes with this sticker sheet, 4 fire department logos, and one of each Autobot symbol designed to place where appropriate. Honestly, he looks fine without them. I tend not to bother with stickers anyway, unless it's the arm's micron range where the bots look naked otherwise. Time to transform them, and right off the bat, the one trick on both that has fans gushing, and I don't blame them, is that the ladder and crane arm respectively fold up and store inside their torsos. Inferno and Grapple's G1 toys have those components hanging behind their heads, which the show omitted, presumably for a cleaner, easier to animate appearance. Given their many accessories, it would have been tempting just to make them separate pieces that you could clip on the back, or leave off to match either source material. Instead, they resorted to some clever engineering, and kudos to that. Though Grapple's at a slight disadvantage, since the crane arm first splits in two, resulting in some kibble on his legs and back. The core robot design is what really has me split on these two. From the way they're proportioned, to the lack of decals, to Inferno's plain shins, these guys practically leapt out of the cartoon. They're as close as you could get at this size and budget, and in that respect, it's an impressive feat. However, this won't bode well for A. those who preferred the balance of the show and G1 toy aesthetics, which applies to the older Masterpiece figures such as Lambor, and or B, those who don't care for their animation models to begin with. I actually fall under both in this case, and most of that is due to their proportions. The relatively thin arms, slightly wider abdomen than chest, combined with the chunky waist and legs, make them look a tad overweight. Grapple mitigates this somewhat by having the thighs and embedded cylinders be separate colours, creating the illusion of thinner thighs, so there's that. Also not a criticism, but the retooling done to accommodate the crane arm results in Grapple's lower body being slightly shorter than Inferno's. Some Transformers have certain design traits that help them stand out. Warpath's chest cannon, Huffer's cab hood. In this case, Inferno's and Grapple's heads are encased in structures that are, in the G1 series and toy line, the base of the ladder and crane arm, except this time they're fake. Inferno retains the hose and nozzles on the sides. Grapple has that extra panel up top, which is actually show accurate, despite looking like unnecessary kibble on its own. Other differences include the molded shapes on their arms, their waistguard designs, and Grapple has additional panel lines on his legs, so they're not as plain. On the flip side, Inferno is practically clean, whereas, again, Grapple has extra junk on his shins, as well as that butt guard, which sadly obstructs waist rotation. Otherwise, articulation and posability on these guys is fantastic. The heads and those aforementioned structures move separate from each other. Also, while it's kinda cheating, Inferno can technically look down since there's nothing locking his head at the back, unlike Grapple. They also have a very good elbow and knee bend, along with ankle tilts, enabling them to stand wide-legged. On to their many accessories. You have the aforementioned blasters, which in this mode can also store on their backs. Both come with alternate faces and helmets that are easily replaceable, no screwdrivers needed. For Inferno, the screaming and first of two neutral expressions are designed for this helmet seen in most of the series, the one with the crest and ears pointing straight up. Meanwhile, the happy and second neutral face go with this helmet, with the ears pointing diagonally, seen in at least Auto Berserk. Due to the outline of each pair, these faces can fit the other helmet that will leave slight gaps in the sides, but the other two won't fit this helmet. As for Grapple, the expressions with facial lines go with his default orange helmet, while the other two are meant for the black helmet seen in Auto Berserk. Unlike Inferno, all of Grapple's faces and helmets are cross-compatible. The alternate grille chests work here too, however Inferno comes with a third piece designed to carry, well, I imagine most Masterpiece Autobot cars will fit, but specifically his partner, Alert. Just like in Auto Berserk. Look, that episode has a lot to reference, alright? To match the appropriate chest, both come with two hand cannons. One is chromed, the other is cartoon coloured. Just like in the show, you can switch between the cannon and an actual hand. Grapple's last three accessories pertain to his signature episode, The Master Builders. The model of his solar tower, with working panels. The tool used to craft said model, though he merely grips them both, they don't plug into either palm. And the blueprint of the actual tower. The tool can store in Grapple's other arm. Back to Inferno, his other arm is storage for his twin wrist communicators. Lastly, you get the hose that Lord Chumley used to trap him in Prime Target, complete with robotic jaws. The water effect piece can plug into that, Inferno's head hose, the hand cannons, and his blaster. Overall, despite my personal taste in aesthetics where the bot modes are concerned, from the incredible cartoon accuracy to the articulation, and many accessories allowing for numerous display options, Inferno and Grapple are more than welcome additions to the Masterpiece Autobot ranks. If I had to choose one, it'd be Inferno due to slightly higher posability, but Grapple's still a well done retool. To top it off, reviewing them together makes for a great transition from one haul to another.
Ladies and gentlemen, as they leave the stage, give our guests a big, massive round of applause.